Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing this table saw here. So it's the EXL table saw and it's the 210mm one. So really it's about the cheapest table saw I was able to find in the world. So let's see how it works, see if it's any good, take it out of its box, see what we get, and let's give it a quick test. So I fetched it out of its box, so I'm not going to bore you with me taking it out of a box. I think you can imagine that yourself. So these are all the bits that you get. So you've got the basic table saw, which is, you can see the kind of size of it. It's not tiny, but it's not huge either. You've got the blade there. Comes with a rip fence, which you can move about. There's this part, which I'm not entirely sure what this is yet. You've got a thing which looks like the blade guard, so that works like that, and that's going to fit on there somehow. Something like that. A big Allen key, yet to find out what that's for. Big spanner, which I suspect is for tightening the blade. A push stick to stop you from trimming off your fingers. And a box of some sort of wing nuts. I've got no idea what those are for either. We'll find out. And then you get one of these, which is for doing the different angled miters. So that's going to fit in here like that. Turn it and you can set this at different angles for cutting the wood. Okay, so that's all the component bits and also one set of instructions. So now I've been going through the instructions, and to be fair, they're a bit poor. There's quite a lot of information about kickback and all sorts of things, but it doesn't tell you how to assemble it. I still have no idea what these are for instance. A lot of it I can figure out, but not all of it. And this, it's not clear how this fits in. It seems to fit over there like that, but it's wobbly. It kind of does what you'd expect maybe. Is it supposed to pivot? Is it supposed to, what's it supposed to do? It's not very clear. Okay, so I've been playing around with it for 5 minutes and I've figured it out. This thing here, this little bit here is spring loaded. So what you do, there's 2 clips on here and 2 holes in here. That fits in there. And then you press the spring load like that. That locks it in place. There. Happier with that. Okay, there's that. I've still not figured out what these are for. 2 little wing nuts, but there don't appear to be any holes anywhere of that sort of diameter that haven't got something in already. So we'll come back to that. Now looking at the cutting fence, it seems that looking at the instructions, this piece seems to be part of the cutting fence, and it's got on the picture, it's got it like that for some reason. So presumably for thinner pieces of wood you can run along there. Not entirely clear. This is obviously a bit shorter than that. It has these various things in it, look like they should fit into something as well, unless okay, I think I've figured out what this piece is, and that's part of the mitre gauge. So that gives us, if we open these, this is going to fit in here. The little nuts go into the little grooves here, and then I should be able to use that as an extender. So here we're with it in place, and these little red ones undo. Slides up and down. Tighten those up again, and this little handle here, I can turn that, so that allows me to push the wood through at different angles. So that's what that was for. And the main rip fence is here. It's just one thing to unlock it. Problem with it, you can't really get it dead parallel, so I have to figure out a way, maybe with a ruler on both ends of the back. There is a scale along the front, which is good, but there's no scale anywhere else, so getting it parallel can be a bit of an issue, and obviously you want it to be parallel if you don't want the blade to jam. So I've taken the guard off again so we can see what's going on here, and under here we've got a wheel, so I can turn the wheel and that makes the blade go up and down. There's down and up. And then there's also this little thing here, I can turn it, and as you can see that means the whole thing then pivots so I can get a mitre angle. And then tighten that up again at the relevant angle. So clearly it's important to be able to raise the blade up and down, and the way it needs to be set is of course about 5 or 6 mil above the workpiece approximately. If you have the blade too high like that, there's much more chance of it tearing out and also more chance of it kicking back. So that's where it grabs at the back of the blade and tries to throw it back at you. Now this one has got one of these things which is supposed to reduce the chance of that, and also these things are quite good, so they should stop that happening too much as well. But it's something to be aware of. So obviously set the blade according to the thickness of the wood. So that's pretty much everything apart from these. I'll just leave them, and then maybe a solution will present itself at some point. I'll just put them in the drawer until I figure out what's missing. Let's give it a try. Let's try cutting a piece of wood with it, shall we? Now just coming out to the side for a minute, there is a port here for dust extraction, and it just so happens that it fits perfectly with my dust extractor, which is nice. That's a first. So here we go. Dust extraction is on, as you can hear. Eye protection on. Let's see if it works. So I'll tell you what, that motor felt very, very powerful when I turned it on. I'll probably have to use ear protection as well. It cut. This is a very, very thin bit of ply that I was cutting. So let's try a little bit of ripping. So it's got a bit of wood here to do. Made this just a little bit thinner, and then let's wind the blade up just a bit, and we should be good to go. So we'll try that, which is just to give it a little bit off the edge there, and we'll see how that goes. Now that was interesting. A lot of the wood shavings seem to be coming out of this hole here, where I didn't have the hoover. The hoover was on the bottom one. It's cut me a nice thin parallel slice off this thing, so that's good. There's a bit of a nick in it here where I obviously did something wrong, but generally speaking, that's all right, nice and square. And it cut reasonably well. I didn't feel it sagging or anything like that, so it seems like the motor's got enough power. A bit odd though. Perhaps that's the. It doesn't say it in the instructions. It says this thing here is the port for the dust, whereas it seems to be coming out of there as well. Who knows? The next thing to try is the mitre. I'm going to set this up. Now I'm going to set it so that this is not going to contact the blade, because I suspect if you had this all the way over, you could easily contact the blade with this and you'd make a bit of a mess. So setting it so that it's nice and clear of the blade. I've got quite a long one that I can go with that. Okay, so there's, no, that's now not going to contact the blade, so I'll tighten that up. I've set it to 45 degrees, and you tighten it up with this thing, which is, yeah, there's a good 5 or 6 degrees play in that, so you can't be doing particularly accurate ones. But give it a try. And the action's going to be just push this along, and this slides along, and then we should chop the end off. Okay, let's give that a try. Not forgetting the eye protection. And there we go. It's quite a nice cut. There is no, you can see there's no obvious cracks and splinters on it there, so that's quite a nice clean cut. And in fact, on the other side, apart from the bit where I took a chunk out of it, it feels reasonably flat. Doesn't feel planed, but it feels reasonably flat, and just one skim through a planer or with a plane, and that should get that quite nice. So it's a reasonably good cut, I would say. So finally, I'm going to set it up for a compound miter. So I've got this set at 10 degrees. I've got this set at 45 degrees. I've made sure it's clear and tighten these up. So this time I'll cut it, and I should get a compound angle of it. Let's see what we get. And there we are, quite a decent one. So it's got that angle on it, and it's also got that angle on it, so compound angle. Fantastic. Again, the cut is nice and clean, and the bit that's come off is nice and clean. So there we are. So to sum up then, I think it's quite a good table saw. It does what it says on the tin. It cuts the wood really quite nicely. I've not tried any really chunky bits of wood, but it didn't seem to slow down as I pushed the wood, so the motor seemed powerful enough. The cut's nice and clean. Lots of sort of bits and bobs on it that are quite nice. I don't like the way that it sprays sawdust out of that hole when it's supposed to be spraying out of the one I've got the hoover connected to. But only time will tell. We'll see what it's like in terms of longevity. But for what it's meant to do, yeah, I would definitely buy it again. So I hope that was useful and or interesting. If you liked it, please give me a like, and feel free to press subscribe too. Maybe I'll see you next time.